Hey, everybody, going through my inbox again. I got some good stories for you this time. What are they? Let's find out next. Hey, Dave Edwards, Treasure Valley Dave here. You know me, Treasure Valley Marine. We're your great real estate agents by your side when it comes time to buy a home, sell a home, or relocate to the Treasure Valley. And if you're doing any of those things, well, gosh, you want to know what's going on in Idaho, what's going on in the market, and we're going to talk about some of those things today. One of those things is the expense of your Thanksgiving meal. And so we compare that and how it looks here and where the cheapest store is in Idaho. And I got to tell you, it's pretty good news. Also, maybe you want a Christmas tree and you don't want a whole hum tree from the Home Depot parking lot, but you want to go cut your own. We're going to check that out as well. Also, do you know what the term rent seeking means? I got a hint for you. It has nothing to do with finding a place to live. And finally, we're going to talk about homeowners insurance. Guess what it's going to do? It's going to go up, going to go down. I think you know the answer. So let's get into these stories right now. Hey, I know times are tight and things always get more expensive, but do they really? What happens if you shop around a little bit? Let's check it out. So I subscribe to the BoiseDev.com email, and it comes out every day, and they have some great information. I suggest you go ahead and check it out, maybe sign up yourself. Anyway, today they have a story where they're looking at the least expensive turkey groceries, Thanksgiving groceries. We priced out 6 Boise area stores to find the best deal. Who do you think came in number 1? I kind of know. Before I even read it, I kind of knew. So let's just check this out. So they say that to find the best prices, we visited 6 stores in Boise: Albertsons, Winco, Fred Meyer, Walmart, also Trader Joe's, and of course, Costco. So they had a preset list of 16 items, including turkey, cranberry sauce, dinner rolls, and pie, pumpkin pie, no doubt. Boise Dev did this exact same thing back in 2022. So that's what their baseline is. That's what they're comparing it against. Winco came out on top with a total of $41.45 back in 2022. And that number marked a 28.86% increase from when they ran the test back in 2009. So that's a pretty substantial jump from 2009 to 2022. But then again, a lot of stuff happened, right? So on this shopping trip here in 2025, they thought prices would be higher, but guess what? Surprise, surprise. Winco and Walmart actually came in lower this year than in 2022. Winco was the cheapest, and Winco came in at a total of $36.90. That was $5 less, an 11% decrease. And Walmart came in at 16% decrease. Wow, those are some pretty good deals. I like Winco. Winco is employee owned, great customer service. They always have everything I need. I'd check it out if I were you. But they found that Fred Meyer, Trader Joe's, and Albertsons had a price increase from 2022. So it pays to shop around. Hey, we've got another story from our friends over at BoiseDev.com. I get their newsletter every day in my email box. I suggest you sign up for it too. I believe there's a free version of it. Definitely worth the price. And today what we're looking at is Boise Devs reports that you can harvest your own Christmas tree in the Payette National Forest. You know what I'm thinking? I bet you're thinking the same thing too. Christmas vacation out in that with Rusty and what was the girl's name? You know, Audrey. That's it. Man, they're out there getting their own tree. You could have that same exact experience. Well, probably not exactly like that. How do you do that? You want to chop down your own Christmas tree like a lumberjack. Anybody think of Monty Python there? Payette National Forest, all you have to do is get a Christmas tree permit. And how much are those? They're not that much. They're a whole lot cheaper than going to, Home Depot and buying a tree. These are $10 for a permit. And you can get up to 3 trees. It's $10 permit for each tree. But still, nonetheless, and you get the experience of going up in the country and getting your own tree with the family. And let's see, has to be 12 foot or shorter. That's probably pretty smart, referring back to a Christmas vacation, right? And so as you do go out there in the snow, up into the forest, make sure you take winter driving precautions, packing chains, first aid kit, and other items for emergencies. What I would take is maybe a snack just in case, because Chopping down a tree is going to be some hard, hungry work. You know what? There's a term out there that people don't really know. A lot of people don't know what it actually means. So what we're going to talk about today is rent seeking. And no, it has nothing to do with finding a place to live. So our friends over here at the Gem State Patriot, they got this story today by Dr. John Livingston, I presume. The hidden cost of rent seeking. What is rent seeking if it's not finding a place to live? Actually, there's an economic term that deals with that. So Adam Smith, The Wealth of Nations, 1776, you might have read some of that back in school. Remember the old days? And he described economic rent as income derived from the ownership or control of scarce resources, especially land, rather than from productive labor or innovation. And further, this David Ricardo, he refined the idea of his law of rent, showing how landowners profit simply by holding more productive land, not by adding value. Well, let's fast forward to modern times. Modern economists, they define rent seeking as the efforts of individuals or groups to increase private wealth without adding new value to society, usually by manipulating public policy or the political environment for financial gains. Does any of that sound familiar? Typical forms include lobbying for subsidies, regulatory protections, exclusive licenses, campaign contributions tied to political favors, and zoning manipulations, actions that redistribute wealth rather than generating growth. And rent seeking always comes at an opportunity cost, favoring select interests over your interest, actually. The most corrosive impact of rent seeking is the way it fuels political corruption. Legal and illegal, we're somewhere in between. Dr. Livingston goes on to say, why should citizens care who represents them if influence is simply bought by those closest to power? As experience in Idaho shows, bringing it back to Idaho, decades of single-party rule foster entrenched crony networks. And that's very true. Yes, we're very red, very Republican, but that doesn't mean that we haven't got a bunch of rent seekers involved, the cronies, the crony capitalism in Idaho. Rent seeking is not just a technical economic problem, it is a primary driver of corruption and malaise in modern politics. So yeah, that's true. Why would you even care if you vote or not? Because your vote matters very little to big money coming in from corporations or out-of-state interests. Those other people who are rent seeking, nothing to do with finding a place to live, but I would appreciate if they just got the heck out of Idaho and lived someplace else. Got a story here from our friends over at Realtor.com. You know those people I pay my dues to. Bless their hearts. Homeowners insurance could surge another 16% by 2017. That's 2 years from now. They say that owning a home is about to get more expensive, with homeowners insurance premiums expected to surge significantly over the next 2 years. They're saying 8% in 2026 and another 8% in 2027. So I know all that sounds big, hairy, and scary, right? But let's put some actual numbers to it just to see how scary it really is, right? Don't believe the hype. So 8%, let's say you're paying $1,000 a year for insurance, and that's right in line with a regular standard type of a house that you're going to get here in Idaho. And that's 8% over, let's say $1,000, that's $80 more every year. So that would be what, about $7-ish a month more. Cup of coffee at Starbucks is what it's going to cost you more every month for insurance. 2 years from now, it's going to be 2 cups of coffee a month. So yeah, it sounds big, hairy, and scary, and it's not good. Don't get me wrong. So these experts report that insurance has climbed to 9% of the typical U.S. homeowner's payment. You know, you have your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Well, insurance has climbed up to be about 9% of that. An unexpected increase in the cost of homeowners insurance can catch existing homeowners off guard and also discourage potential buyers who are trying to estimate. No, they'll do the escalating for you. Estimate their monthly housing expenses. So this is what we're talking about. If you're just reading the headlines, you might get all wigged out and say, oh my gosh, I could never buy a house. $8 a month, $7 a month. Is that something big, hairy, and scary? Is it something you could deal with? In both cases, climbing insurance costs can contribute to a weaker buyer demand for $7 a month. Really? So, but not all places are created equal, right? Reasons for the price hike. Well, one of the reasons homeowner insurance premiums are expected to spike is because of rising construction and material costs. Well, that's very true, right? Ever since COVID, Biden's inflation, gosh, prices have gone up. Construction costs are up 44% since the pandemic. Yep, that's a lot. That's hyperinflation right there, right? Did your pay keep up? Probably not. But in Idaho, it's getting there. 2024 saw a 5% increase in average wages. So that's a start. Rising premiums are also driven by the frequency and magnitude of natural disaster and the increasing number of homes exposed to climate-related risk. Yeah, really, I would say the big risk in Southern California isn't the climate, it's the politicians. Anybody disagree with that? Leave some comments down below. And this is interesting too. 12% of the residential housing stock is at high risk to a hazard or peril. Think about wildfires, winter storms, hail, stuff like that. The third factor contributing to this anticipated premium hike is migration into high-risk areas. No, we're not talking about people coming over the border. We're talking about people purposely moving to these high-risk areas. This expert says, as a society, we'd like to live in high-risk areas. 1 in 6 of us live in a high-risk wildfire risk area. 12% of the housing stock is in high-risk areas. 1 in 6 of us want to live there. So here's a thought. Maybe the people that choose to live in those high-risk areas, maybe they should pay more and leave the rest of us alone. Wouldn't that be nice? So the bottom line is that it's going up. It's not that big of a deal. All things considered, $7 a month. I think that's probably doable. Don't let that scare you. If you can get on the appreciation escalator for buying a house, and it's not your perfect house, it's not your parents' house, it's your first house. And if you're just starting out, get into that first house. It's going to be a struggle. It's going to be tight, but just do it. And then 5 years down the road, trade it in for the next step higher, something bigger. And eventually you're going to be on a couple acres in a shop out in the country and, living life pretty good. But you got to get started. And if you need some help, let me know. Hey, so what did you think about all that? Some good information, some things you didn't know. Rent seeking, is that a new term for you? It kind of was for me. Great news. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, and don't miss out on any of the future coming up Dave's Inboxes. And until then, we will see you on the next video.